What is going on, beautiful people? Hope you're having a beautiful day, because I am having a beautiful day. So I get an absolute ton of questions, right, in regards to how to calculate your macros or your calories for that matter. So I wanted to make a brief video explaining exactly how to do that. So when I get asked this question, because I do get it a lot, I can just link this to you guys and you guys will have a very easy process of setting up your own macros for yourself. I'm gonna try and make it as brief and concise as humanly possible and also do it in a comprehensive manner. So without further ado, let's get into the calculating. So the first step to calculating one's macros is to calculate your TDEE, right? Which stands for your total daily energy expenditure. This is also commonly referred to as your basal metabolic rate, which implies the amount of calories it would take for you to maintain your body weight at rest. This is all the calories your internal organs, bodily functions, bones, muscles, hair, every kind of cell in your body that utilizes a calorie. This is what basal metabolic rate is, okay? So at rest, without moving. But as far as I'm concerned, we're moving around constantly, right? We've got kids, we've got jobs, we've got to the gym, school, etc., all that kind of stuff. So you're never really at rest 100% of the time. It's just not possible. Even if you're moving from the couch to the fridge, you're still moving about. So instead of first calculating your TDEE, we're going to forget about that altogether and just go off your lean body mass. The way we're going to do this is depending on what your goals are, right? Whether you want to cut or whether you want to bulk, you're going to times your body weight by either 14 or 18. Now, it's not your entire body weight, okay? Now, if you are over 15%, you want to deduct that from your total weight, okay? So we're going to use lean body mass. For example, a 200-pound male, let's say, is at 20% body fat, okay? We're only going to take 10% out of that. So it comes down to a lean body mass at 10%, because obviously no one's at 0% body fat. It's not possible. We all have some body fat in places. So instead, we're going to take off 10% and account for the excess in body fat from your total body weight. That would be 200 minus 10% of that, so 20. 200 minus 20, which gives you 180 pounds lean body mass. That's the way to do that. Now, once you've found that number, your lean body mass, you want to times it by either 14 or 18. And this is a scale, right? So whether you want to cut or bulk, you're going to start at 14 or you're going to go to 18. This gives you a nice range, and it is quite far apart, but in terms of the activities that you're doing for a cut, it shouldn't be an issue, right? If your training is structured properly, you should still lose weight, timesing your body weight by 14 and vice versa. Timesing it by 18 will give you a nice generic number. So once you've got that number, it's not good enough to just do the calories, right? Like, you could do it, you could lose weight, you can put on weight, but a better idea is to calculate your macros and count your macros. Now, I know you're asking yourself, why would I count 3 things when I could just count 1 thing? The reason is you get so much more benefit from actually calculating and counting your macros as opposed to just counting calories, right? You know, if you do that, you don't really have a blueprint, you don't have a plan. One day you could hit 100 grams of protein, the next day you could hit 150, the next day you could hit 200. Who knows, you know? You need to have a set in stone plan. Getting those 3 numbers down pat is what's going to really give you those results. It's so important to get that in order first. From there, you can then make ridiculous gains once you get your macronutrient profiles right. So how we're going to do this, okay? So we start off with calculating our protein, because protein, one of the most important macronutrients. It is the building block of muscle mass. So if you don't have that in check, then you're really not going to make any gains. So the way we're going to do this, okay, we're going to make it as simple and easy as possible. We're just going to times your lean body mass by 1.1 grams per pound of body weight. Now, there is quite a range within that, but because we're keeping it as simple as possible, we're just going to times your body weight by 1.1. So that means a 200-pound male will be eating 220 grams of protein. Now that we've got the protein in check, once you've timed your lean body mass by 1.1, we now figure out the fats. And the way we're going to do this is a range, okay? So 15% to 25%, okay? And the ratio that you pick is up to how you feel about fats. Do you prefer to have higher carbs or do you prefer to have higher fats? It's up to you. Me, I like carbs. So I always shoot for the low range of the fats because I love carbs. I run better off carbs. I feel so much better when I'm eating low fat, high carbs. That's how I roll. That's how I diet. But you might not be that way. If you don't really know if you like fats or not, pick the middle range. So let's just say you pick 20% right in the middle. You want to get 20% of your total calories to your fats. And how we do this is, all right, let's say we have 2,000 calories. We take 20% of those 2,000 calories, giving you 400 calories. And from there, we divide that 400 calories by 9 because 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories. 400 divided by 9 equals 44.4 grams of fat. Now we're just gonna round it up to 45 to keep it simple. Now you've got your protein and you've got your fat. Once you've done that, you only have carbohydrates left. So the idea is, all you have to do is deduct your total calories from the calories you've already got coming from protein and fat. So let's take it that your fat is, we'll use the prior example of 45 grams. We are a 200-pound male and we're eating 220 grams of protein. So what we're gonna do is, because protein is 4 calories per gram, we're gonna times 220 by 4 plus 45 times 9, which equals 1,285 calories. Now all that's left is to deduct the total calories, 2,000, by the calories coming from fats and protein. So 2,000 minus 1,285 is 715 calories. Now all you have to do, because a gram of carbohydrate is 4 calories, is divide that number by 4. So we divide 715 by 4 and we get 178.75 grams of carbohydrates, which we're just gonna round up. That is the idea behind that. Now that is quite low on the carbohydrates, but that is for an example of a 2,000 calorie person, and who's probably, if you're in those calories, you're definitely cutting. The idea behind that is all an example. All it is you take the ratios that I've been explaining and you apply them to your current situation. As a recap, okay, the first thing that you need to do is find your goals. Do you want to cut? Do you want to bulk? Once you've done that, you need to find your lean body mass, okay? And the way to do that is to define what kind of body fat percentage you're at, and then take your total weight and minus the percentage of body weight from fat by the total body weight. Once you've got that, you times that by either 14 or 18. This is going to give you a range of whether or not you want to cut or bulk, okay? If you're cutting, you times your lean body mass by 14. If you're bulking, you times it by 18. And then once you've done that, you then first and foremost find your protein, okay? So protein, 1.1 grams per pound of body weight. Once you've done that, you find if you like fats or not. So 15%, 20%, or 25%. Pick one, equal that out, and then you minus the amount of calories coming from proteins and fats from the total, and that will give you your carbohydrates. It's that simple, guys. It's that simple. It will take you 10 minutes to calculate these. Now, the idea is, this is simple. This is simple, 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 simple. This does not account for your external activities, your current situation. This is a very, 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 very simple way to calculate your macros, and it's going to give you a range that's somewhere in your ballpark, right? So it's never, ever, ever gonna be exact the first time around. And the idea is we just wanna make it as simple as possible, so then you track it, right? So this is simple. You don't wanna get wrapped up in the idea that it's just, we need to get it perfect the first time. You're never gonna start. I wanna make this as simple as possible for you guys so you can just start. You can just start counting and start calculating and start making gains. And once you do that, all right, once you find your number, once you've done all those calculations, you find your magic number, what you want to do is track it. So you test that, you hit your macros accurately, and then you weigh yourself accurately. So first thing in the morning after going to the toilet, you do that on a consistent basis. And let's just say you're trying to cut, and on Monday you weigh yourself, you're 50 pounds. Come the following Monday, you're 149.6 pounds. You've lost 0.4 of a pound. Now that's a little bit too slow for fat loss. So what we're gonna do is decrease the calories by about 100. And the way to do this is either take calories from fat or carbs, depending on which one's higher, okay? You're taking it down by 100 calories, you divide that by 4 or by 9 and take them from fats and carbs, or both. One or the other, it's up to you, it's personal preference. So the idea is, right, lean bulking, we want to be lean bulking, and here's the range that I want to give to you guys. All right, if you are putting on more than 1 pound per week of body weight in a lean bulk, you need to decrease your calories slightly. And if you are gaining less than half a pound per week, you need to increase your calories a little bit. So you want to be in the range of half a pound to a pound per week. Vice versa for cutting, if you are losing more than a pound per week, you want to increase your calories slightly. And if you are losing less than half a pound per week, you need to decrease your calories slightly. So that is the ranges of both, okay? And that's how you do it. Then you trial and error, and you'll get it right. So I hope that made a ton of sense, all right? I wanted to try and make it as brief and concise as possible, but I also wanted to make it coherent. So I needed you guys to understand it. That's why I went into lengthy explanations. Maybe it went a little longer than intended. However, if you still don't get it, all right, there is the formulation in the description. So watch this back again and follow along with that. I'll put it all in the description and it will give you a great idea of how to calculate that with the actual calculations as well. And all you have to do is fill in the numbers, fill in the blank. Easy as pie. It's easy as pie. Once you get it, all you have to do is trial and error and you'll make some ridiculous gains. So drop a like, leave a comment with any questions you may have regarding this. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'm just gonna wrap the video up here. Hope you enjoyed watching because I enjoyed making it. I will catch you in the next one. Later.